Hello everybody, it is N, and today I'm going to be doing another book review, second requested by Messiah. Shout out to you, boy. Today I'm going to be reviewing Antman and the Wasp 2, which I watched fairly recently, back when it came out, which means like a couple of months ago. And although this movie was quite famous for its time, I wasn't the biggest fan of it, unfortunately. I still enjoyed it, but let me get deeper into that and explain my thoughts on it. Before I get into that, I just want to mention, update on what I'm doing right now. I'm reading Ray Bradbury's Something Wicked This Way Comes, and of course it's still Spooktober for me. You guys are going to be seeing this maybe later, maybe earlier, I don't know. But right now it is like October 20th, so this video is being recorded way ahead of schedule. Don't worry about that, I'll upload this whenever I can, but this is also an extra video. I don't think that this is going to take place of any book reviews, so don't worry about that if anybody's here for that. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. Ant-Man and the Wasp 2, right over here, is one of the most recent Marvel movies to come out. I'm fairly sure it's the most recent movie, or maybe there's been one earlier. Maybe, is Spider-Man part of Marvel? He is, isn't he? Okay, so Venom also came out. I've seen Venom, which is much more recent, but it was not as good, in my opinion, as Venom, which I thoroughly enjoyed because of its graphics and very tense situation. Whereas Ant-Man, for me, is on the other side, where it tried to be funnier and it tried to be tenser, but altogether, these things did not mix as well as they needed to. Now, for those of you that don't know this movie, let me just give you a quick recap, even though I don't know why you're watching this review. Basically, Ant-Man is a superhero that can turn really tiny, just like an ant also can turn really big. So he can change sizes, and he can do a bunch of other stuff that nobody cares about. But that's his power, and then this is his second movie, where he is under house arrest for some reason, and eventually he finds out that he needs to go out and fight these bad guys despite being in house arrest. And so that happens, and then they go out and they fight some bad guys. They have to save this one person who I'm not going to name because that's kind of a spoiler. He needs to go and help the friends that he hurt before, and he needs to go fight off this gang guys who are coming and trying to beat him up as the villains with superpowers. It's really weird. And you know, all that together is my problem with the series. You know, I always appreciate a tightly knit story. However, I feel like this story was far too tightly knit. So they've got all of these confounding parts just trying to fit together into the puzzle, but for me, it just felt so clunky that I didn't feel like it was executed as well as it could have been. And in my opinion, I wouldn't say go and make it more well executed, like work harder, make it better. I think it was a pretty solid execution for what they had already put into the movie. My problem with it is that there's too much execution, too much going on overall. We've got some new problems coming out of nowhere, and I'm just like, I don't care about this, what about that, what about this, what about that? And they just rush through a bunch of different scenes and a bunch of different conflicts that I really was confused about. And there are some things that I didn't care about, and there are some that I did care about. For example, one of the villains that showed up, I absolutely didn't care about her whatsoever. She was a cool villain in theory, of course she was. She was really interesting. And her backstory, although it was kind of shoved in there with exposition, which is never a good thing if you know how to write at all. That it's a horrible idea. You should never shove exposition into anything. But her exposition was just shoved into there, and I did not like it one little bit. And then we move on from there as if we're supposed to care about her. But for me, I'm just like, what about all the cool stuff we already have going? Why are we introducing this when we've got all that going on? Just get rid of her. She has one part in the entire thing, which is kind of to mess with them overall. And at the end, she's the one who causes the big problem right before the grand finish. And so we get that, and I just didn't care about that villain whatsoever. With all of these conflicting parts, I just could not find myself enjoying the movies as I did the first movie. The first Ant-Man was incredibly good. It was far more fun for me, because for me, Marvel was going on another stretch and making this movie far more comedy based than any of the other superhero movies. And so I thoroughly enjoyed that because I love comedy movies. Comedy movies are so special to me. But when you take a comedy movie and then wrap it up in action, I'm like, okay, that's cool. Sure, I'll live with that. But then you wrap it up more, and I'm like, okay, calm down. I still wanna have the jokes. You wrap it up even more and more. Suddenly, you've squeezed all the comedy out. This is now just a dry action movie, even though there's bits of comedy here and there. It was nowhere near as good comedy, honestly. I didn't laugh that often during it, and it wasn't as high quality, or it didn't have that much comedy compared to the first one, which I was going in expecting. You can't set up your movie like the Ant-Man 1 and have incredible comedy, incredible comedic moments, and then have the second movie where the comedy was far less incredible than the second. Even if it was a little bit, I would have lived, but it was almost, to me, I felt like it was almost flushed out. And looking at it like 5 months or whatever months later, I just didn't feel that incredible happiness and that fun joy that I did in the first movie, and so that was really unfortunate. I, however, did enjoy the themes of this movie. I did enjoy the beginning as well. That was one thing. The beginning of this movie started out incredibly fun, honestly. That was really good because this is before all the action was introduced. We had some really fun stuff. We had some really heartfelt stuff, and I really enjoyed the beginning. It was extremely solid. It had some fun and enjoyable stuff altogether. It was just as good as the first Ant-Man movie, but then they kind of dropped all of the comedy, all of the fun, and they've made it into a strong action superhero movie, which on its own is not a bad thing. I just did not expect it. I did not come to enjoy it after expecting a really fun comedy movie, which is sad. So yeah, the first part of the movie, incredibly fun. The characters, amazing. I loved all of the characters. They did their best to be funny, and I think that the characters made it work. The characters were funny enough, but the situations just did not allow for that much to happen. And then going on to themes, I never really paid attention to themes, but I just checked up on some other reviews, and I realized that there are actually some good themes in the second movie. Far more intellectual, I think, than the first one. It's got some good themes on family, good things on, you know, on your past self, on looking back and solving problems in the past, having revenge, that kind of stuff. And it had some pretty good themes there, and I kind of like that. It was clear enough for me, but again, that's not what I was expecting in this movie. I didn't come into this movie expecting like a lecture, not a bad lecture, it was still a good lecture. I didn't expect a lecture though, like period, on family and stuff like that. And so coming into this movie, I was kind of surprised, taken back by it. And of course, you want a movie to evolve, you want a movie to become better and better, but you never wanted to cut out the greatest part of it. Of course, you know, some movies are just known for its incredibleness. The Superman movies are just known for the pure power of Superman. If they were to one day just get rid of Superman's powers, nobody would care about that anymore, even if the plot was incredible. If you got rid of Superman's powers, you got rid of the best part. You got rid of the part that made him Superman, which is honestly my most favorite part. It's like getting rid of Batman's darkness, or Wonder Woman's sense of justice. It's like getting rid of Percy Jackson from Percy Jackson. And that's kind of my main idea of why I didn't like it. So, you know, I've talked about why I don't like it, and I know that people tend to talk about why they don't like it, and I know maybe if some people felt as I did, they would rate it like a 1 or a 2. I'm not gonna go and do that, because I know that it was still an incredibly strong movie. It had very good, strong, tight plot, it had great character moments, it had an overall well-balanced plot, not very well executed, but well-balanced. I can't look past that, and I think that the story itself worked out in the end. Although, again, it wasn't very well executed, it ended up working out, and I think that I have to count my blessings. So, honestly, it was, I'm happy that I watched the movie. I do not regret watching the movie. I didn't think it was a bad movie, and I guess it was a good movie. I would say it's a good movie. I enjoyed the movie very much. But of course, when you put it next to Teen Titans Go the movie, I watched them back to back. Nuh-uh, that thing is garbage. Give me that Teen Titans Go 5 out of 5 stars, baby. And I'm not even kidding. I don't know if people from my other video think that I was kidding. I'm not kidding. That is seriously the movie of the year for me. It was so much better than expected. I love that movie. Seriously, I'm not even joking. It was awesome. But Ant-Man and the Wasp, I have to count my blessings for that, and I have to say that although it's not a 1 star, which means that I hated it, will not watch ever again, will discourage anybody from watching it because I think it is that bad, or 2 stars, which I think is a pretty bad movie, did not like it one little bit, will not discourage people from reading it. I do want to rate it a solid 3 stars. It's ranked as one of those movies that I'm not exactly really happy about. It is an absolute 3-star. Okay, not a problem, not bad. So with all of those faults in the story, and as well as the really good parts about the story that I've explained, I did enjoy the movie, and I do hope that anyone out there who has seen the movie liked it a little bit more than I did, and I guess you guys did, because some people I know really liked it. I've seen some decent ratings for it, so that's pretty good. But Messiah, thank you for the recommendation. Thank you for asking me to doing this video. I appreciate you, and I had a lot of fun doing this video. So this video is dedicated to Messiah, so thank you for recommending this. But let me know if you've seen the movie and tell me what you thought of it down in the description down below. And also, let me know if you want me to do another movie review. I would happily do Teen Titans Go, Goes to the Movies, best movie of all time. Fight me on that. Nah, I don't think I want to do that actually. Maybe if some people want me to do that, I'll do it, but I'm not the biggest movie reviewer. I don't watch that many movies. I think in the last year I might have watched 3 or 4 movies, so I'm not one big movie viewer. So maybe if you guys want me to, I'll do it, but I might stop doing movie reviews from now on. Just, let me know, tell me what you think, and I'll base my decision off of that. But thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe to see any future reviews, or maybe even a future movie review. I usually do books on this channel, as you can see, but I made a very small break for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll tune in to another video at some point, maybe next week. I think next week. Tune in, please. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.